Good morning and welcome to Facebook Live, How Do I with Quality Sewing and Vacuum. I'm Robin Coffin, one of the general managers, and today I'm very excited to be sharing with you how do I sew with Cork. So Cork is a great product. We've had cork boards forever. We've done crafting with cork. It now is showing up in flooring, wall coverings, yoga mats, all kinds of different products, shoes, lots and lots of stuff. But we have wonderful cork fabric. So we have from Sally Tomato has a premium cork fabric. There's lots of brands out there, but I've really enjoyed working with this. It is very soft and drapable. It's a great alternative to either leather or vinyl. Some of the benefits of the cork are it's easy to cut and sew. It is lightweight. It's actually, the volume of it is 50% air because just the nature of cork. It is easy to clean, easy to sanitize, hypoallergenic. It's durable and long-lasting. It is, best part of that maybe is that it's 100% sustainable and vegan. I know that's very important to a lot of people. When sewing with cork, you don't need you don't need a lot of special tools. But if you're going to get excited about cork and sew a lot of it, you might want to designate a specific rotary cutter and pair of shears just to the cork. It does have a little bit different nature and hand to it than what your normal fabric has, and it may dull your blades a little bit more. So having, like I said, a rotary cutter and a pair of shears designated to your cork is a great idea. Some of the other products, or some of the best products or fabrics, to use with cork are woven fabrics. The backing on the cork is a woven backing. So the hand of this is going to work best with woven fabrics, not with knits. And you'll want to back your fabrics typically with some kind of an interfacing. And that's going to vary from fabric to fabric, but you want the hand and the feel of your other fabric to match or be very close to the cork. So some of the other things that are going to help you are having some glues and adhesives on hand. There are some temporary ones that work very well. If you've got a big surface that you need to adhere, the 505 spray adhesive is great. Or you can use the Culture Select temporary glue. Finally, the Stitch Perfection or any basting tape. It's a double-sided tape and it is a temporary, just to help hold things together, because obviously you're not going to want to pin the cork. It will leave holes in it. If you need more of a permanent bond and something that you don't want to stitch, E6000 is a great alternative. This is a great craft glue. It is a permanent glue and it holds great. I'll show you as we go through some of the samples when I use some of these different products. Of course, you're going to have to mark things, and I have a new favorite marker that I just discovered about 2 weeks ago. It is from Friction. As you probably know, we've had lots of Friction markers or pens over the years. This one is a fine tip marker. It marks very clear. It doesn't scratch your fabric, which with the sizing and fabric, that can happen with some of the others. And it comes in a great assortment of colors. So whether you have dark fabrics or light fabrics, you'll have a color that works well. The other things that you're going to want to have specific are your needles. Microtex needles are what they suggest from most of the companies that are distributing cork fabric. Usually either an 80 or a 90 is going to serve you very well. And again, as I said earlier, you're not going to want to pin your cork, so a selection of Wonder Clips are going to serve you well. There are 3 different sizes of Wonder Clips. We have the Jumbo, which is very large in comparison to the others. We have the original standard ones. I don't know if you can see that. And then we have the Micro. The Micro I find are my favorite because of the small point. You can sew very close to the clip before removing it, so you don't have any distortion or movement of your fabric. The other thing you'll probably want to have is some sort of a turning tool and a pressing tool. So the Clover Roll and Press is my favorite, and this is the R&K turning tool, and this will just help turn out those corners on whether it's the cork or your woven fabrics and make nice tight corners and not distort and not take the chance of poking through like it might if you use your shears. So with all of that, those are, oh, I didn't hold up the packages of the others. So you can buy either a big jumbo pack, or you can get 10 packs if you're just trying out the clips. So that works great. I've got some great samples. I have to admit, I did have some assistance with the samples this time. We have actually, during Sew Fun over the last 6 months, had Cork featured 2 different times. So the consultants that were in charge of those presentations actually loaned me some of their samples. So thank you very much to them, and I'll start with their samples. The first one is this little, it's called a Corky wallet. It just opens up. It just has a place for a few cards. So that's very cute, all out of the cork. We have a little zippered pouch with a nice southwestern fabric on the back. It's lined and has the nice cork on the front. And the cork comes in different colors. It comes in different textures, as you'll see as I go through the samples. And finally, this cute little shoulder pouch. It has a pocket on the back that is just the cork fabric. It has some very pretty hardware, the gunmetal, and a beautiful lining with a pocket inside. So what a great little purse if you're out and about. The other projects we have here, we have this cute little origami gift box. So you can use the cork with your embroidery machine. This is an OESD designed freestanding origami gift boxes, and that is where this came from. So as with all of the OESD freestanding lace, you make the panel, and it has little buttons to put that together. And again, all lined. What a fun little gift box. And then we have a book that I'm going to skip the book for just a second and go to one more bag. This is one that I did. And this is from Charlie's Aunt. It's a Saxton Green satchel bag. And when I saw this bag, what really popped out on this pattern to me was this exterior pocket. And that's what I used for my cork. So with this bag, I used just normal quilting cotton, but it has a special treatment. And on the fabric, before I cut the bag out, I coated the fabric with this product called Odie Coat. And what that does is it takes your normal quilting cotton and turns it into an oilcloth. Here, I'll hand that to you so they can see the difference in those fabrics. It's very easy. You can use a paintbrush or a sponge brush, or it actually comes with like a little credit card shaped piece of plastic that you can just put it on. And just a nice thin coat, let it dry, and then you can just cut it out and stitch as you would your normal fabric. So that was this, like I said, this bag. I did all of the exterior pieces with the Odie Coat. And the interior of the pocket is just the cotton. On this one, as you can see from the pattern, I kind of gave mine a southwestern look with the conchos. Kind of made up my own hardware. So I did the conchos with a little loop out of the cork, and I accented the handle with a strip of the cork. Then we're ready to move on to the book. So this book is called Create with Cork Fabric. It has so much information in it. It tells about the different qualities of cork, how to use it, how to, the different adhesives, when you'd want to use those, different stabilizers, battings for making bags, all of those different things. The first project that I've got here to show you is the framed clutch purse. And this one is here. Very cute little bag. It's got a monogram with some foil on it. And again, just nice hardware. And so, great little bag. The next one in here is the tote. And again, their directions are incredible. It takes you step by step. Even a lot of the projects our skill level is beginner. So with this tote, this has applique on the outside of it. So you cut out the pieces, and that's when I used my Quilter Select glue pen to put all the pieces in place, and then I stitch them. So one more little guy hiding in here, and this one is featuring reverse applique. So with this, the fabric is behind the body of the notebook cover, and just the color then is exposed by the cutouts. couple of more projects out of the book are this little basket. And this is woven with the layers of cork. And this is a great time to use the E6000 because once you've done the base of the bag, you've got the strips that you're going to weave in and around. This would be a little difficult to get in and sew those strips. So just a little dot of E6000 is going to hold them. And then it's got the nice fabric liner. This is going to be sitting next to my chair where I sit in the evening and crochet. The perfect size to hold a couple of skeins of yarn in my living room. And finally, we have the little box pouch. So this is just a great little hold all. It's all self-contained, and it's just the cork fabric, but it's great. Got a great body and can hold lots of treasures. And we are going to actually put one of these together. I'm going to step over here to the machine. I've already started it by doing one side of the zipper. So now to do the second side of the zipper, I'm actually going to use my basting tape. And if you don't want anything to slip and slide when doing zippers, basting tape is wonderful, especially if you got a fabric like the cork that might have a little bit of movement, or polar fleece, minky, anything like that. This is a great way to put zippers in and not have any movement. I'm just going to run that right down the length of my fabric. And it just tears off. Smooth it down and then peel off the paper backing. I'm then going to take my other piece. I'm going to line my pieces up so it's nice and square and line the edge of the fabric up with the edge of the zipper. I'm just going to firm that down.
So Robin, what was the pattern for the Southwest bag?
That is one of the bags that one of the sew-find consultants lent me to show as a sample, and she did not tell me, so I apologize. I do not know.
Okay, well, we'll find it and we'll put the link underneath your question.
Perfect. All right, so I've got that in place. I am now going to come to my machine, lower my presser foot, and I'm just going to stitch the zipper down. All the way to the end.
So Robin, what size needle are you using?
I'm using a 90. Just a little bit more oomph when we go through the different layers.
And can you cut the cork with your scan and cut?
Yes, you can use the scan and cut on the cork. It'll cut it very well. Okay, that. I'm going to now use the roll and press this back. And then I can top stitch that. And I want my top stitching a little bit closer to the zipper, so I'm going to move my needle over just a little bit. Give me a better top stitch. All the way to the end.
So is cork pressable with heat?
With moderate heat, yes. You wouldn't want to use high heat on it, but on some of my projects I did use low heat. The next step for this is going to be put the little pull tabs on. And if none of you have sewn standing up, It's not as easy as sitting down, and I did get this just a smidge off, but by the time we're finished, it's all going to be good.
Someone was asking about a product list, and that will be attached to this video after we're done live, or if people are on our email list, we will send it out via email. So if you're not on our email list, run over to qualitysewing.com and sign up to be on the email list to make sure you get the list of products.
All right, so I'm going to put the tab here. I'm just going to tack it in place. Oh, before I do that, one very important thing. You want to open your zipper before doing that, because if you sew your zipper tab beyond the edge of this, it's not going to work very well. And I am going to pop on my regular foot. Put my needle back to center. This is a great time to use your Wonder Clips. Get everything lined up. Like I said, you know, at home I would take this out because it isn't totally square, but here we're just going to wing it and go for it. We're going to do the other end the same way. Oh, drop my cork. Little piece to hold that from shifting. Hold my tab, put it on the other end. Now this one, because my little tab is there, I have to be careful where I stitch, so I'm going to go just a little bit beyond that so I have a good stitching line. And I knocked my foot off. So it's good when these things happen here on camera, so when it happens at home you don't feel so bad. Right over into the zipper, missing that zipper catch, and cut it. Okay, now we are going to open just a little bit more. Going to do the base, and we're going to use a 1/2 inch seam allowance. That's what's suggested with cork for most projects. We're going to flatten that out. And we're going to sew the side seam. We're going to match that up with the center, right over the zipper. Again, use our Wonder Clips to hold things open and flat. Half-inch seam allowance. And back tack that just a little bit more. So over that zipper. Okay, at this point, we'll pretend the other end is sewn. We're going to measure 1.5 inches up and 2 inches in. On the corners. And that is from the edge, so that gives you actually your cutout from your seam allowance is going to be 1.5 inches. That out on both sides. And we're going to flatten those out. And using her Wonder Clips to hold everything together. And this is what's going to make our boxed corners. And again, 1/2 inch seam allowance. And you want to sew a second seam at about 3/8, just to reinforce that corner. And flip it over and do the other side. Like I said, even though my zipper wasn't totally square on my 2 pieces of fabric, by doing the box ends and the corners, you won't be able to tell once it's all finished. Another 1/2 inch seam.
Asking, is there a particular reason for the 1/2 inch seam?
That is just for the cork what they recommend. Just a lot of times on craft projects, anything other than quilting, it's either 5/8 or 1/2. And so this one, they're just suggesting a 1/2 inch so that you have a nice seam. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and turn that right sides out. And there's my box end. So we just repeat the same process on the other end and have a matching pair of bags. So I hope you enjoyed our presentation today with cork and have fun. We have lots of colors, so see what you can make.